Hey, what is up, internet friends? How is everyone doing today? I'm doing pretty good, I guess. As you can see here, I have a Boker knife to talk about. This is a Boker Plus. And I know what you're thinking. Man, it's been a long time since you've shown a knife that costs under 50 bucks. Under 100 bucks. Under 200 bucks. And it has been a long time. But I saw this one for sale, and it just sparked my interest, so I had to pick it up. This is the Boker Plus Batman Knife. I've seen it called a few different names. Batman Karambit, I've seen it called. It's fairly new. I guess this was designed by a couple of South African designers. Their names are Kevin and Heather Harvey. Collectively, they call themselves Heavin, Heavin, which is kind of a combination of both their names. I think it says on here Heavin Forge, if I can get it to focus. Now this knife goes for about $30, $30 to $40 depending on where you get it. There we go, Heavin Forge. Man, this Fuji, what is it, Canon Elf takes forever to freaking focus. While we're there, steel is 8CR13 MOV. It's numbered like Bokers are, made in China. Now, the Boker Plus line is a mid-grade line, so Boker Magnum is the low end, Boker Tree Brand is the high end that's actually made in Germany, and the Boker Plus is kind of a nicer Chinese-made, usually, knife. First off, let's get some specs out of the way. Overall length, about 8 1/4. Blade length, about 3.5. Materials, you have stainless steel, as I mentioned before in the blade. Stainless steel liners, non-skeletonized. Tons of standoffs, which we'll talk about here in a sec. G10. And it comes with a little lanyard here. Just, you know, a little plastic bead. But it's got some 550 gutted paracord right here, pre-wrapped. So that's always cool. Even if you don't like it, you can take it apart and use the paracord for something else if you want. Let's see what to talk about first. Let's talk about just the overall gist of this thing. Now, the reason I bought this is, I don't know, it just looked cool. And I thought, 30 bucks, do it. I'll just buy it. Looks cool. Done. And I did. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's a pretty decent knife. The function of this knife, in my opinion, is 100% defensive, tactical, fighting. This is not a utility blade. This is not something that would be super EDC friendly. But of course that's all relative to what your EDC needs are. If you're a secret agent or an undercover ninja spy, obviously something like this would make a great EDC. For the rest of us, you could definitely use it. You could cut stuff with it. It's not going to be the best slicer with this recurve or concave blade here. The main problem is sharpening. You've got these cool scallops which would just slice the crap out of any soft target, but would be really hard to sharpen. That's definitely a sharpening job that I would probably pass on. Out of the box, it's actually not even all that sharp. I mean, it's decent. It's good enough, especially for a tactical blade. But let's see, I got some paper here. It'll cut. It'll slice paper, not that well though. It, you know, and some of that could be due to the scalloped nature of it. Yeah, it usually kind of rips. It'll cut a little and then it'll rip. And I imagine the reason is that the factory had a little trouble sharpening it as well. But man, it sure does look cool. Hollow ground comes to a nice point right here. And like I said, if you were to hit a soft target with this, it would just obliterate it. Fairly thick steel stock all the way down to the tip. Steel liners, really thick G10. This thing is a beast. I mean, it's 100% solid as a rock, no blade play. Lockup is nice and early but fully engaged on the liner, so that's great. Non-skeletonized liner, it's what is it, over 6 ounces, so pretty heavy. Tip up, tip down, right hand carry, and then they've got kind of this little gap filler like a hinderer when you're not using this particular slot, just for looks and to keep crap from building up in there, I guess. The carry. Not very deep at all, actually. So, you know, you've got quite a bit of knife that'll be hanging out there. So if that's a concern for you, then maybe this isn't a knife for you, or maybe you just want to buy it and not carry it. Perfectly centered. I mentioned before, no blade play. Look at all these standoffs. I mean, this thing is built like a tank. I mean, look at that. You've got the blade stop there, and then they put another standoff right next to it. That's crazy. Craziness. This thing is built crazy tough, and you can tell, too. You can feel it. It's really thick in the hand. Very ergonomic. The G10 is not very grippy, but it doesn't matter because you've got all these finger grooves, and it really just wraps in and feels great. Jimping is very functional. It's that, you know, my perfect jimping, you know, where it's not uncomfortable, but it definitely grabs. So I really like that. Dual thumb studs. This one is the only one that has texturing on it, though. But dual thumb studs, it's always cool. The pivot is not anything fancy. It's a regular Torx. It just has some design elements around it to kind of fancy it up a little. So you won't have any problems with needing special tools to tighten it or take it apart or anything like that. Fit and finish was pretty good. Everything's fairly smooth. Not too bad. It did have a few blemishes, like it's got, you know, a mark thing on there. G10 had a few scratches on it out of the box. You know, but that's what you get for a Chinese $30 knife. I would definitely say that for $30 you're not getting ripped off at all. You know, this is just a cool, just a wicked blade to own. Really cool. I don't know, I just bought it on a lark, as the British would say. So I think I have covered everything that I want to talk about with this knife. They make a smaller version, and it's got a flipper. It's pretty similar. It's not too much smaller. It's like 3-inch blade instead of 3.5. But that one actually looked pretty cool. And in fact, had I seen that one first, I may have bought that one instead. But I don't think I'll get both. So if you're looking for something like this, keep that in mind, that there is a smaller version that's a flipper design that's available too. You might want to check out. Very nice. Very cool. You know, Boker, they have some problems with quality control sometimes, but man, they do some really good collaborative work, and they pump out some really cool designs, and at least they're consistent. All right, guys, take it easy.